Can you feel it? That's excitement. In just a few hours, Pope Francis is going to make history as the first pontiff to address a joint meeting of Congress right here at the U.S. Capitol building. His speech is expected to take on tough issues. We heard that already on the South Lawn at the White House. But what will the priorities be? What will be the things that touch off Republicans and Democrats? Both could wind up being uneasy at points here. Interesting number here. 83 Catholic Republicans in Congress, split evenly between the parties. Who knew? Congressman Sean Duffy told me that. He's here of Wisconsin. Congressman, thank you very much. What an odd coincidence. 83 split evenly. You know,
yes, well, you know what? It's a unique thing in that you used to have a major Democrat wing of the Catholic contingency, but now you've seen more Republican Catholics elected, and now we sit at 83 and 83. It's a good number of Catholics now in the House of Representatives.
So you had an audience with the Pope.
Well, I did about 5 months ago. We were out at the Vatican and sat down and had a chance to quickly chat with him. Not a long conversation as they are with the Pope, but a wonderful guy. And listen, if you look at what happened yesterday in Washington, D.C., that you have the seams bursting with joy that the pontiff has arrived. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, it's a reception that you get for a president on Inauguration Day. Taylor Swift doesn't get this kind of reception. And you're going to see it up in New York and in Philadelphia. It's great to see the pontiff, the Pope, the Catholic Church get so much energy out of the people. It's fantastic.
Duffy putting the high bar of Taylor Swift up there to see if the Pope can get over it. That's a little bit of an unfair challenge you may be putting out there. So when he comes and he speaks, we know that he's going to touch on things that are fundamental to his catechism, to the Catholic catechism, but are inherently political. Do you think the prioritization will be the same as we saw on the South Lawn, that global warming is what talked about most specifically there, or do you think he's going to have a different priority with you all?
So first of all, I think it's important to talk about the Church's teaching, right? So when you look at the dogma of the Church, the doctrine of the Church, that's issues of life and marriage and religious liberty and freedom. That's the law of the Church. There's other things that are up for judgment, prudential judgment, that Catholics have the right to disagree or debate with the Pope, and that's in the space of pollution or climate change, how we defend our borders, what kind of immigration system we have in place. Those are all up for debate, and so I think he'll touch on all of them. But I think it puts Democrats in a little bit of a tough spot with regard to the issues of life and marriage, which are true teachings of the Church.
There is this presumption that the global warming stuff will bother Republicans, but you're right, on a moral center, right? Because those are political issues, what to do about them. But the morality is something that Democrats have had to deal with the Pope. But this is a different Pope who talks a different way, and there'll be pressure on them as well. However, what matters most in politics, perhaps, is tone. You know that very well. The Pope's tone is almost definitely going to be positive, inclusive, and looking to do better. What difference will that make?
Well, so I think the tone of the Pope is really important because he's going to talk about tough issues that will hit both sides. And I think what we have to do as a Congress is actually listen to him. I think we're called to do better in all of these spaces. I mean, I'm from northern Wisconsin. I love the forest, the clean air and the clean water, and to make sure that we preserve that for the next generation. It's great that the Pope is going to come and talk about that. Sometimes I hope there's a whole lot of, not a whole lot of discussion on the economics, because I think he has a little different economic opinion or view. He comes from Argentina. He actually said he's allergic to economics. And I hope there's not a push that we're going to go to a more socialist style economic system. He's not, listen, and I'm not saying that's where he comes from, but when we talk about redistribution and as it relates to the poor, I think the American style of economics has done more to lift people out of poverty and up into the middle class, where if you look at Argentina, you look at Cuba and Venezuela, people are stuck in poverty because of the economic system. So I hope he doesn't go into economics, but he sticks with faith and morals, which I think will resonate very well with our Congress.
He's going to come at that almost certainly on the level of do better. You know, you're not going to compare America to Cuba. He's going to say, you guys have the most money, you should do better, you shouldn't have poor like anywhere else in the world.
True, but we also spend $1 trillion a year, whether it's federal, state, and local money, to actually serve the poor. And I think you can't discount that. And so we do a lot as Americans to look out for the poor, to lift people up. But also, you want to make sure you preserve the system that has done more for the poor than any other system that's been known to man, better than any one that's out there. And those who try to lift their people up try to mimic or mock our system because it's worked so well.
Now, You have a little bit of a personal onus on you. You know, you're a member of his flock. You're going to have to listen to what he says.
So are you.
But I'm a journalist. We believe in nothing, Duffy. So, but here's the thing. Do you think it will matter to members of Congress? It's a big occasion. There's no question about that. It's even bigger, I think, than we anticipated before he came. But do you think that the Pope has the ability to speak to members of Congress and that they may think differently about anything?
You know, I think he can move the needle in small ways. I think, you know, in regard to immigration, I think we have to get immigration reform done. And to talk about people, immigrants and migrants who come to our country where families are separated, I think that touches a lot of people's hearts in regard to how we treat people. Now, how we deal with our border and the inhumanity of our border, and should it be secure so we don't have, you know, parents sending their kids on a long journey where some of them die, some of them are raped and abused. Should we fix that border? Absolutely. I think that side can really touch and move people's hearts. And so I do, yeah, so I think he can move the needle as he talks to Congress, as long as he, you know, doesn't make it too political.
Wow.
And he says he's not going to make it political, I know.
It's going to be political. But I appreciate it. Congressman Sean Duffy, thank you for taking the time, and I look forward to see your reaction after we hear the remarks.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it. Allison, back to you.
Okay, thanks.